ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد, the book we are studying is Al-Farq Bayna An-Naseehah Wat-Ta'yir, the difference giving good advice, the difference between helping one another upon goodness and insult and abuse. Sometimes people confuse the two. A person can insult the other person and abuse him in the name of the religion. It's just insult, abuse. And he will say it is Naseehah. On the other hand, a person can give a genuine Naseehah. The person who was giving the Naseehah takes offense. He thinks that he has been insulted. So Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali was an 8th century scholar of Islam. So it means this book has been written over 600 years ago. And what that means is that these matters have always been there since a long time ago. So Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, he wrote this book, Al-Farq Bayna An-Naseehah Wat-Ta'yir, the difference between good advice and insult, the difference between good guidance and abuse. We mix them up. We have read the book to understand that that the scholars of Islam mujmi'una ala qasdi idhar al-haqq, they are all agreed about a basic thing. What is that? Idhar al-haqq, making the truth to be manifest. This haqq was the truth with which ba'ath Allahu bihi rasulahu, with which Allah has sent his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are all agreed. Everybody must make effort to be sure that the truth is supported. Everybody agrees. They are also agreed that an yakuna ad-deenu kulluhu lillah. Deen must be for Allah alone. They are also agreed that an takuna kalimatullahi hiya al-ulya. The words of Allah must be left supreme over all other views. Whatever Allah says, whatever the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, is the supreme. They are also agreed that بأن الإحاطة بالعلم ليس مرتبة أحد منهم. They are also agreed that no one of them has reached a level where he knows everything. They are agreed, all of them. So the A'imma, not just the A'imma, start from the companions, from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, from Umar, from Uthman. Each of them knows that no one person has the knowledge of everything in the religion. No. You know some, you don't know some. You know many, you don't know some. You know parts, you don't know this. You know this, you don't know that. So the ones where you they are the ones where you don't know. So the one who knows has a duty to give you Naseehah regarding it. And when he gives you Naseehah, you accept that Naseehah. So that makes them also agree, rahimahumullah, that all of them must accept the truth. All of them يقبلون الحق ممن أورده عليهم. all of them, they also agree. Anybody who shows you the truth about a matter, you should accept it from him. Why? Because you know that you don't know everything. And you know that what should be supreme is the statement of Allah and His Messenger. وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا مُبِينًا. مَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ. It is not of a person of Iman. Somebody will say he has Iman. Iman will not make you that إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا. When Allah and His Messenger determine a matter, أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِ. You now say, no, you have one opinion. After the ruling from Allah and His Messenger, no person of Iman will do that, not to say a person of knowledge. So they are all agreed. That's what? يَقْبَلُونَ الْحَقَّ مِمَّنْ أَوْرَدَهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. They will accept the truth from anybody who shows them the truth. وَيُوصُونَ أَصْحَابَهُمْ وَأَتْبَاعَهُمْ بِقَبُولِ الْحَقِّ إِذَا ظَهَرَ فِي قَوْلِ غَيْرِهِمْ. What did they also used to do? They also used to make nasiha. يُوصُونَ أَصْحَابَهُمْ. They make wasiyah. They give good advice to their students and their followers. بِقَبُولِ الْحَقِّ. That they must accept the truth. إِذَا ظَهَرَ فِي قَوْلِ غَيْرِهِمْ. If it becomes manifest in the view that another person apart from them has given. So Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, Nu'man ibn Thabit, from the A'immatul Arba'a, is the first one in front. Cool. If he has a view and there's a verse or a hadith that clearly shows that the view is wrong, he wants you to throw his own view away. Take that hadith, take the verse. The one after him in age was Malik ibn Anas, Abu Abdullah. He is also ever saying it. If I say something and later you find a hadith in Ibn Abdul Bar's Jami' Bayan al-Ilm wa Fadlihi, it was reported regarding this Imam Malik ibn Anas that he would say, Innama ana basharun. I'm no more than a human being. The Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam himself was told to say that in the Quran. Innama ana basharun. I'm just ana bashar. I am just a human being. Malik would say, Ukhti'u wa usib. Sometimes I will be correct, wa usib. Sometimes ukhti'u wa usib. Sometimes I will be wrong. Sometimes I will be correct. Fanzuru fi ra'yi. So check my views, check my opinions. For kullu ma wafaqa al-kitaba wa sunnah fakhudhuhu. Whichever of my views that conforms with the kitab and the sunnah on that matter, take it. Rahimahullah. Wa kullu ma lam yuwafiq al-kitab wa sunnah. And any of my views that does not conform with the verse of the Quran regarding the matter, or the hadith regarding the matter, fatruku. Leave that my opinion aside. These are Imām Malik ibn Anas. The one who said this the most regarding issues like this amongst the Al-A'immatul Arba'a was Al-Imam Shafi'i. Imam Shafi'i was always saying this. Always saying this. He was known for it. To always say, hey, if I have a view, and you find a hadith that contradicts it, throw my view away. In fact, if Al-Imam al-Shafi'i has a view, rahimahullah, and he sees a hadith, that hadith has reached him with an isnad that is da'if, sometimes he will say, if you finally discover that this hadith is sahih, this my view should be thrown away. If you finally discover that this hadith has an isnad that is sahih, it has come to me, it is not sahih, but I have another thing, maybe a qiyas jali, from where it has taken evidence. So if you find that in the end this hadith has an isnad, it has a shahid, it has a tabi, it has anything that makes it sahih, or it has come from another route completely, you find that it is sahih, this is my view that I'm saying, throw it away. Why are they saying this? We have given us the reasons why they all say that. They knew that they are agreed that an yakuna dinu kulluhu lillah. They are also agreed that an takuna kalimatullahi hiyal ulya. They are also acknowledging the fact that bi anna al-ihatata bil ilmi laysa martabata ahadin minhum. They are also acknowledging that not all knowledge belongs to them. They don't know everything. So if you know that you don't know anything, sometimes you say, maybe you people can find something better than what I've said. Maybe if you find a hadith, maybe if you find a verse. So you can say, but they were memorizing Quran and their minds might not go there about istinbat, about deducing a ruling. He may not have thought about it, that ruling can be gotten from this verse. That is how the Quran is. The more you read it, the more you find good knowledge. That's why you need to learn those sciences that will help you be able to deduce rulings from the Quran. From the first of them, ulumul Quran. Then from that, ilmul tafsir. Then, of course, with good knowledge of Arabic language and a sound knowledge of ilmul hadith. These are your instruments with which, when you read a verse of the Quran, you can determine which ruling has come from that. So Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali gave us examples where very learned, respected people in our region made mistakes and they got An-Naseehah. They changed the mistake. They corrected their views. He gave us an example of Omar, even though we said that that narration regarding Omar was not sahih. No woman corrected Omar. He gave us the examples of Al-Imam al-Shafi. He was extensive regarding Shafi. He also gave us the example of Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. That Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he respected Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm ibn Rāhawayh. That was what I heard when I came into class. When I came into class now, I was thinking about something as I came. That Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he did not used to reject that Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm contradicted his views. He respected Ishaq. And Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm, rahimahullah. You know what it means for Imam Ahmad to say that Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm, Imāmun min al-A'imma. Who said that? Al-Imam Ahmad. To say that one person is Imam, not Shaykh, not Hafiz. What did he call him? Imam. Bima'na yuqtada bihi. The meaning is that he is to be followed. He is an authority to be depended on. Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm. Al-Imam ibn Khuzaymah was from the teachers of Al-Bukhari and Muslim. So they used to call him Imam al-A'imma. Ibn Khuzaymah. His own name is Muhammad ibn Ishaq Abu Bakr ibn Khuzaymah. He used to say, Wallahi, law kana Ishaq min at-tabi'in. If Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm ibn Rahoya was from amongst the Tabi'un, لأقروا له بحفظه وعلمه وفقهه لو كان إسحاق من التابعين. If Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm was from amongst the Tabi'un, they would have affirmed his hifz. You know Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm? He said to us regarding himself, rahimahullah, he says, مَا كُنْتُ أَسْمَعُ شَيْئًا إِلَّا حَفِظْتُهُ مَا كُنْتُ أَسْمَعُ شَيْئًا إِلَّا حَفِظْتُهُ. I wouldn't hear something. Once I hear it, I've memorized it. Ishaq. He says, وَلَا حَفِظْتُ شَيْئًا قَطُّ فَنَسِيتُهُ لَا حَفِظْتُ شَيْئًا. And I will not keep something in my mind, memorize something. فَنَسِيتُهُ. And then I now forget. So no muraja for him, no muraja. The mind is sound. Once he hears it, it's magnet. I know a brother like that. He has died now. May Allah forgive him. That brother's mind is magnet. You know Microsoft, when you run Microsoft program, he did once. You know those days, if you want to do software on a computer, especially Microsoft, there is a code. How many letters has that code? 15, Abi? How many letters? Microsoft, the key. 15 letters. 25. Huh? 25. He did one for somebody. So I came. It is triple user. You know that time. 1, 2, 3 persons can use. If you buy Kaspersky or something to antivirus. But that day it was Microsoft's Word. He wants to install on my system. I had left the school, but if I had something, I used to go back to get them to do it for me. Or that I was in Kaduna at the time, I was passing by Ife. So I wanted them to do something on my system. So he just did it 3 days ago for one brother. So I said, they said, no, I need to remove the software on my system and bring new one. So they removed it. They need to install new Microsoft, new this, new that. So when they got to the code, the 25 letter code, he was the one doing it for me. I was there in front of him. This brother, may Allah forgive him. He has died. He memorized the Quran in days. I think 80-something days or something. I used to ask, how did you? He said, once I read it, Abu, don't forget about it. It's gone. This brother. I have never seen a human being like that. So he took the Microsoft. They were saying that they didn't find the paper. You know, the code is written somewhere. They couldn't find it. He said they should bring the system. They gave him. He was lying on the bed. He stood up, said, bring the system. He brought the system. He said, let me see if I can remember. People started saying, that's how he will say. Because he does not have self-praise at all. Wallahi. One of the most humble brothers that I have ever also met, this brother. Young. He started 25 letters, Abi. Pam, 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 3. Pam, pam, 4. He did like this. Pam, 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 5, 6. He did again. Pam, 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 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody was waiting. 25. He has made like 10, 12. He stopped. He made again. Pam, 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 pam. That's how he was doing. Then again. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 24. He remaining one. He stopped. He just pressed it. Pam. As he made enter, Microsoft just started working. Just started loading. Just started all those procedures. He only did it once 3 days ago for a brother. So they want me to be the second user. You know how complex those letters usually are? He has things like this a lot. So he memorized the Quran in a number of days. He started memorizing Sahih al-Bukhari. he has one thing. And if he's reading a lengthy hadith, he will read it from the beginning. There is the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas at the beginning of Sahih Bukhari, in the case of Kisra, the hadith of Abbas, the hadith of Abu Sufyan, when he was narrating the incidents when they went to that hadith. He will read it from the beginning to the end, then he will start interpreting, explaining it one after. This brother, may Allah forgive him. He has died now. We used to respect him and love him so much. So there were people like that. So when they speak of Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm, if he says, مَا كُنْتُ أَسْمَعُ شَيْئًا إِلَّا حَفِظْتُهُ, I would not hear something except that it has gotten stuck in my brain. Rahimahullah. وَلَا حَفِظْتُ شَيْئًا إِلَّا وَلَا حَفِظْتُ شَيْئًا قَدْ فَنَسِيتُهُ. And I would not memorize anything and then I have forgotten it. No. Maybe if he were the one, he would have memorized this book, as we have read it a number of times. As learned as Ishaq, and as much as Imam Ahmad respected him, Al-Imam Ahmad said, Rahimahullah, وَإِن كَانَ يُخَالِفُ فِي أَشْيَاءٍ. He used to contradict us in some views. فَإِنَّ النَّاسِ لَمْ يَزَلْ بَعْضُهُمْ يُخَالِفُ بَعْضًا. Because the nature of human beings is that a group of them will always have a view, and a group will also have another view. I want us to gain two things from this. The first one, what Ibn Rajab is saying here, is that the scholars did not used to find it as a problem that they have a view, then someone is contradicting that view, because they know that I don't know everything. In fact, even if they think that your view is weak, they will not fight you over because you have contradicted them. Please note this. This is not regarding every mas'ala, that they don't quarrel with you over a view. It is not in every matter. I heard me saying that we will come back to this mas'ala. I will also say today again, we will come back to it. It is not in every difference of opinion that the scholars don't contradict. They don't get annoyed. There are some masail that when you bring an opinion, they will blame you for that opinion. We will come back to that. Which issues are those that you should not bring another opinion? That if you bring another opinion from the scholars, no problem. Which views are those? So two views, two issues, two groups of issues. Issues that they will not make inkar, lil mukhalif, and issues that they will make inkar, lil mukhalif. We will see it, it is here too. But note this point, we will come back. Issues are those that if you make mukhalafa, they will not blame you. Which issues are those that if you make mukhalafa, they will blame you for making a mukhalafa? There are issues like that. So, but here now we are talking about those issues that when you make mukhalafa, there is no blame. So Ibn Rajab rahimahullah went on to say that وَكَانَ كَثِيرًا يُعْرَضُ عَلَيْهِ كَلَامُ إِسْحَاقَ وَغَيْرِهِ مِنَ الْأَئِمَّةِ. Many times Imam Ahmad will give a view and they will tell him this is what Ishaq said, rahimahullah. Or others amongst the scholars, وَمَا أَخَذْهُمْ, they will tell him the source upon which those scholars base their opinions. فَلَا يُوَافِقُهُمْ فِي قَوْلِهِمْ. Imam Ahmad will still not accept that. You say, no, that view is still weak. Rahimahullah. وَلَا يُنْكِرُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَقْوَالَهُمْ. But he will not be fighting them, quarreling them, despising them that they have a view different from his own. In which kinds of issues? Those issues where the khilaf in them is what? Sa'igun mu'tabar. There are masail. Al-khilafu fiha sa'igun mu'tabar. And there are masail that al-khilafu fiha ghayru sa'ig, ghayru mu'tabar. We will come back to these groups of issues, inshallah, subsequently. So in these matters that khilaf, there can be khilaf. You can think it differently. So they will not. Even though your evidence for thinking differently, they know it and it is weak, they will just allow it. They leave you. They leave you to it. They will not make inkar. They will not say, oh, why are you contra? Me, Fadila to Shaykh Imām, I said something. You are saying this. Because they are both learned people, scholars. A learned person can make inkar to a jahil. Note this. But the learned to a learned, no. Especially if the jahil shows jahal. It's so su'ul adab. It wasn't decent. We have spoken a bit about that too in the past. So Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal لا ينكر عليهم أقوالهم ولا استدلالهم وإن لم يكن هو موافقا على ذلك كله. Even though he was not accepting those views, he will not make it a reason to quarrel. He will not make it a reason to fight. He says وقد استحسن الإمام أحمد ما حكي عن حاتم الأصم. And Imam Ahmad has considered it nice, appropriate. The narration that was reported from Hatim al-Asam. Hatim al-Asam, Abu Abdur-Rahman. He is Hatim ibn Unwan. His surname is Unwan ibn Yusuf. Hatim ibn Unwan. Unwan, address. Ibn Yusuf al-Balkhi is used to be called, as we mentioned in the last class, Luqmanul Ummah. He said something. Qila lahu, he was asked, Anta rajulun a'jamiyyun la tufsihu. You are a non-Arab and your Arabic is not even very clear. You are not a very eloquent user of the language. Yet, ma nadharaka ahadun illa qata'tahu. No one came into an intellectual discourse with you except that you defeated that person, and you are not a good user of Arabic language. La tufsihu. You don't have eloquence with this language. So how are you able to فَبِأَيِّ شَيْءٍ تَغْلِبُ خَصْمَكَ? So how are you able to overrun the party opposing you? فَقَالَ بِثَلَاثٍ. I'm able to do that with three things. The first one, أَفْرَحُ إِذَا أَصَابَ خَصْمِي. If the person opposing my view, إِذَا أَصَابَ, if he is right, أَفْرَحُ, I will be glad. If my opponent is right, I am happy. Brothers, this is our sunnah. We have a long way to go. If the person opposing me is correct, I am happy. Rahimahullah. Wa ahzanu iza akhta'a. When he makes mistakes, I feel bad. The person opposing me is right, I'm happy. When he errs, I feel. We are happy when our opponents, when they are the ones that are wrong. Why? The intention in many cases for which people come into discussions is the intention of galaba. He wants to overrun the other person. Not that he wants to discuss with him to determine the truth from falsehood. He wants to overrun. At the end of the day, say, Shaykh, Fadila to Shaykh. The deed is destroyed even before he started it, because Allah will not accept it. May Allah forgive us. The third thing, Hatim al-Asam said, Rahimahullah, wa ahfazu lisani anhu. When I'm in discussion with him, I'm careful about what I say. And aqula lahu ma yasuquhu. So that I don't go and say something that he will feel bad about. When we are in an intellectual discourse with our brothers, what we put in front is that insult and abuse. Look at these three things. I don't know the one that is common amongst us. You are discussing with your opponent. You want him to be the one to say the truth. When he says the truth, you are happy. Tafrah. وَإِذَا أَخْطَأَ تَحْزَنْ. When he errs, you are sad. وَتَحْفَظُ لِسَانَكَ عَنْهُ أَلَّا تَقُولَ مَا يُسِيئُهُ. You preserve and protect your tongue regarding him. So that during the discourse, you don't say something to him that he will now be annoyed about. For us, this is our job. The first thing we start is you say something to him to annoy him. فقال الإمام أحمد ما أعقله من رجل. How very intelligent is this man? This man is very intelligent. Hatim al-Asam, Abu Abdur-Rahman. He was not from the scholars of hadith, but he was close to them. He was with Imam Ahmad. He was known to be from the people of Hikmah, and that was why he used to be called Luqmanul Ummah, because Luqman was what? Hakim. So because of the Hikmah of Hatim al-Asam, he used to be referred to as what? Luqmanul Ummah. Rahimahullah. Ibn Rajab said, Rahimahullah, Fahina is it. After we have understood all of this, Faraddul Maqalati Daifa, refuting and correcting writings, articles, views that are weak. وَتَبْيِينُ الْحَقِّ فِي خِلَافِهَا, and explaining the truth to contradict weak views. بِالْأَدِلَّةِ الشَّرْعِيَّةِ, using evidences from the Sharia. لَيْسَ هُوَ مِمَّا يَكْرَهُهُ أُولَٰئِكَ الْعُلَمَاءِ. It was not something that those scholars used to hate. The scholars did not used to hate that. There is adilla shar'iyya. There is a view, maqala dha'ifa. And you use this adilla shar'iyya to correct that view that is weak, that is wrong. لَيْسَ هُوَ مِمَّا يَقْرَأُهُ أُولَٰئِكَ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Our scholars in the Salaf, مَا كَانُوا يَكْرَهُونَهَا, they did not used to hate it. They have a view. You have a hadith, or that they have a view that a hadith is da'if, and then another person amongst the scholars finds out that this hadith is hasan. Let me use the mas'ala of Salatul Tasbih. From those who make tahseen of the hadith of Salatul Tasbih was Al-Imam Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm ibn Rāhawayh. He says that hadith yakbalu tahseen. Salatul Tasbih. From the scholars who said the hadith is hasan was who? Ishaq ibn Man ibn Ibrāhīm ibn Man ibn Rāhawayh. Long ago, this hadith is hasan. So if you say Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah says the hadith is mawdu, I say, oh yeah, it needs to be proven that it is mawdu. Show us the kadhab in the isnad. Cool. Shaykh ibn al-Uthaymin said Salatul Tasbih is bid'ah. Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm long ago said the hadith of Salatul Tasbih is what? Hasan. So that thing is stronger than what you are saying. So it remains for you to prove actually that it is da'if. But they say, Shaykh Hussein support da'if. The matter is beyond that now. It remains to be proven. Bring adilla shar'iyya to prove that Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm was wrong. As for Ibn al-Jawzi, who said that the isnad is mawdu also, many scholars tell him that afrata fi dhalik, he erred in that. Many scholars, Ibn Nāsir al-Dimashqi, Imām al-Suyuti, even Suyuti came to say that Ibn al-Jawzi was wrong to say that the hadith is mawdu. So these things like this are inside this ummah. That somebody will have a view that is weak. وَتُبَيِّنُ لَهُ بِالْحَقِّ فِي خِلَافِهَا. You will explain using the truth to show that what you are saying, that this is like this, is wrong. To be doing like that, لَيْسَ هُوَ مِمَّا يَكْرَهُهُ أُولَٰئِكَ الْعُلَمَاء. The scholars did not used to say that that is wrong. بَلْ مِمَّا يُحِبُّونَهُ وَيَمْدَحُونَ فَاعِلَهُ وَيُثْنُونَ عَلَيْهِ. In fact, it is from the things that they used to like وَيَمْدَحُونَ فَاعِلَهُ. In fact, they used to praise anybody who was doing that. وَيُثْنُونَ عَلَيْهِ. They would be praising him, saying good things about him. Why? There's a weak view. He went to bring authentic hadith to show that this view is what? It's weak. Let me also address another extremism we have in our times. There are some of our brothers who do that a lot. Some of our brothers do that a lot. If someone says something and he errs, they go and address it. This person said so thing. This thing is wrong. What is he doing? Naseehah. He's doing Naseehah. He says this is evidence that so person's view is wrong. Now there are some people who say, why are you always attacking people? He's not attacking the view. He's just explaining that ad-dīnu Naseehah. And we have all agreed that kalimatullahi hiya al-ulya. We have all agreed also that la budda min bayanil haqq wa ithbatiha or wa ithbatihi. We all agree that we must always explain the truth. So if there is somebody who has somebody heard, he goes to explain. Bil adillati shar'iyya. So from Salafiyya is that ma kanu yakrahuna dhalik. The scholars did not used to reject that one. But today, if you see somebody who always doing that, all his own job is just to be abusing people. No, he's not abusing. All his own job is just to be criticized. He's not just criticizing. He's making what? An-Naseehah. He's not just talking. He's making Naseehah. Some of our brothers are known for that. May Allah reward them with goodness in this world and hereafter. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, فَلَا يَكُونُ دَاخِلًا فِي بَابِ الْغِيبَةِ بِالْكُلِّيَّةِ. So those kinds of nasiha, those kinds of corrections, لَا يَكُونُ فِي بَابِ الْغِيبَةِ. It is not from giba. That is not giba at all. Bilkulliya, completely it is not from the aspects of giba at all. It is not from the aspects of at-ta'id. What is it from? Naseehah. It's from the aspects of An-Naseehah. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, فَلَوْ فُرِضُ أَنَّ أَحَدًا يَكْرَهُ إِظْهَارَ خَطَئِهِ الْمُخَالِفِ لِلْحَقِّ فَلَا عِبْرَةَ بِكَرَاهِيَتِهِ لِذَلِكَ. لا عبرة لكراهيته فلا عبرة بكراهته لذلك. He said رحمه الله لو فرض أن أحدا يكره إظهار خطئه المخالف للحق. If we take it that there is a learned person who hates that his errors are explained. This is an error. Someone comes and says, Shaykh so made an error. This is the correct view. This is the evidence. This is this. If there is somebody like that, he hates it that his errors are corrected. Yakrahu izhara khata'i. He hates that the errors are shown. Al-mukhalif lil-haqq. These errors contradict the truth. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, فَلَا عِبْرَةَ بِكَرَاهَتِهِ لِذَلِكَ. That he's hating it, la ibrata lahu. It shouldn't be giving any kind of consideration. Don't mind him. Be saying it. Say the truth. Prove the point. Because the Salaf did not used to dislike that when they have a view and the view is wrong, that they are corrected. They did not used to dislike it. So when he is disliking it, that is part of his own failures as far as his own Salafiyya is concerned. I also have an advice for us at this point. Ikhwa, one of the things that makes people to hate that their views are corrected is that they give their students the impression that they know everything. Don't do that again, it's wrong. Because the truth is that you don't know everything. Even whatever you claim in knowledge, you will also be making mistakes in it. So some of our brothers give their students impression that when you heard from me, It is wahyu. This kind of a view is wrong. It's wrong. Big mistake. They give their students the view that we don't make mistakes. That attitude is not upon the manhaj of the Salaf. The Salaf did not used to give their students and their followers the view that as if to say, I can never be wrong. So it is when you give your students that view that you can never be wrong, they now correct you. Then you find offense. But if they know, you know they know. Shaykh can be wrong. He's always saying it, hey, he can be wrong. So if they show that Shaykh is like this position is wrong, Shaykh will not find it as a problem. Ustaz will not find it as a trouble. Why? He knows, they know that he does not know everything. And he's not claiming to know everything. This matter, as I'm saying it, I hope that we are able to imbibe it. Troubles and quarrels and fights amongst us will reduce. Especially this point. Teachers, make your students know that you can say something that it is wrong. The Shaykh says, rahimahullah, فَلَوْ فُرِضَ أَنَّ أَحَدًا يَكْرَهُ إِظْهَارَ خَطَئِهِ الْمُخَالِفِ لِلْحَقِّ. If we take it that there is someone يَكْرَهُ إِظْهَارَ خَطَئِهِ, he does not like that his mistakes are made known. Those mistakes, al-mukhalif lil-haqq, they contradict the truth. He hates it. If we just take it, let's say, for example, there is somebody like that. It says, فَلَا عِبْرَةَ بِكَرَاهَتِهِ لِذَلِكَ. That is karaha. That is dislike. لَا عِبْرَةَ لَهُ. We will not give it any sort of a consideration. فَإِنَّ كَرَاهَةَ إِظْهَارِ الْحَقِّ. Because to dislike that the truth is made known, إِذَا كَانَ مُخَالِفًا لِقَوْلِ الرَّجُلِ لَيْسَ مِنَ الْخِصَالِ الْمَحْمُودَةِ. Because to hate that the truth is made known when it contradicts your view, you hate it. You don't like it that people make the truth to be known. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, لَيْسَ مِنَ الْخِصَالِ الْمَحْمُودَةِ. It is not from the traits that are praiseworthy. It's not a praiseworthy thing. To hate that truth is made known, you hate it just because it is contradicting your own opinion. Don't hate it. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, bal al-wajibu ala al-Muslim. In fact, what is obligatory upon the Muslim is that an yuhibba zuhur al-haqqi. He should like that the truth be known. Wa ma'rifat al-muslimina lahu. He should like it that the Muslim should know the truth. He should like it that the truth should be known. He should also like it that the people should know the truth. Yuhibbu zuhur al-haqqi. He should like it that the truth should be manifest. Wa ma'rifata al-muslimina lahu. He should also like it that the Muslims should know the truth. Sawa'un kana dhalika fi muwafaqatihi aw mukhalafatihi. Whether that truth conforms to his own opinion or not. Whether the truth contradicts his own opinion or the truth conforms with his own opinions. What is compulsory? Al-wajibu ala al-muslimi an yuhibba dhuhur al-haqqi. What is compulsory upon the Muslim is that he should like it that the truth should be established and manifest. Wa ma'rifat al-muslimina lahu. And that the Muslims should know the truth. Sawa'un kana dhalika fi muwafaqatihi aw mukhalafatihi. Whether that thing conforms to his own view or contradicts his own view. Wa hadha min an-Naseehah. This is part of what? An-Naseehah. It is not what? At-Ta'yir. It's not ta'yir at all. It's not insult. It's not abuse. It's not insult. It's not abuse. It is part of what? An-Naseehah. He said, rahimahullah, وَهَذَا مِنَ النَّصِيحَةِ لِلَّهِ وَلِكِتَابِهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَدِينِهِ وَأَئِمَّةِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَعَامَّتِهِمْ. So this is Naseehah regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is being sincere with Allah. What is being sincere with Allah? Something is clear in the religion of Allah as truth. It contradicts the view of your Shaykh. Make it be known. This thing is wrong. The Shaykh said, this is what is correct. You are being a Nāsir regarding Allah. This is nasihatun lillahi wa li kitabihi. Likewise, you are showing sincerity to the Quran. Wa li rasulihi. You are also showing sincerity to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are acting sincerely to the Prophet alayhi salam. Wa a'immatil muslimin. You are showing sincerity regarding the views of the scholars. Wa ammatihim. This is also from Naseehah to the generality of the Muslims. وَذَلِكَ هُوَ الدِّينِ. And that is deen. مِمَّا كَمَا أَخْبَرَ بِهِ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us about. That occurs in that hadith of Tamim ibn Aus al-Dari. We know that hadith. Ad-Dīnu An-Naseehah ko, Ad-Dīnu An-Naseehah ko, Ad-Dīnu An-Naseehah ko, Kulna liman ko, Qala liman, Lillahi wa li rasulihi wa li kitabihi wa li a'immatil muslimin wa ammatihi. That's Naseehah. From that is that something is wrong, you know that it is wrong. Say, Shaykh, this view is wrong. And Shaykh too should not hate it. Ustaz, don't hate it. How can you be telling me? Sorry, sir. Because of this. Ibn Rajab said, Rahimahullah, وَأَمَّا بَيَانُ خَطَئِ مَنْ أَخْطَأَ مِنَ الْعُلَمَاءِ قَبْلَهُ. But as for explaining بَيَانُ خَطَئِ مَنْ أَخْطَأَ, the error of any one of the scholars who erred, one scholar today, people used to say that too about Al-Imām Al-Albani rahimahullah, that he was always pointing out that one person had errors, he will correct it. This is the evidence. Does it mean that he himself did not have errors? He did not mean so. Wallahi, he did not mean so. Al-Imām Al-Albani had errors in the science of hadith that he was best in. He had errors. He had errors. He had errors. There is nobody who claimed that they don't have errors. He had errors. Rahimahullah. So the duty you have is when you prove it that this is an error, there's an evidence for it. The jahl is that there is no error in it. You think that there is an error because of your own ignorance. You too will lash you, give you one cane for that. You are an ignorant person. Why are you pointing to a learned person that he has erred when you have not learned? So those who point out errors are those who have learned, who know the Quran and the Sunnah to prove that this view regarding this matter by a learned person is a wrong view. So Imam Al-Albani also contradicted those before him. He said, no, this thing is wrong. This is the evidence. He made issues with Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. He would say Ibn Taymiyyah says this, but this view is wrong. One of them is, if a man divorces his wife in a sitting 3 times, what does it count as? Does it count as 3 divorces or it counts as 1 divorce? A man says to his wife, Talaqtuki, 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 I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you 3 times in a single sitting. Does it count as 1 divorce or it counts as 3 divorces? It's issue amongst ulama. A woman is divorced when she's menstruating. A man issues divorce to his wife and she's menstruating. Does it count as divorce or it doesn't count? These matters, Al-Imam Al-Albani holds a view different from the views of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. Especially this second one. He was asked, and it is one of the places I have ever respected this Imam. I listened to the audio. This one is more than 13 years ago that I'm talking about. He had a view. He wrote it in Irwa al-Ghalib. So someone read it and said, you are saying that if a man divorces his wife when she's menstruating, that divorce counts as one divorce. But I have heard you 20 years ago, the man said to Shaykh Al-Albani. You told me, the man said that to him. You said to me that the divorce does not count, that it is batil. So why are you saying now that it counts? He said that time I was following Ibn Taymiyyah's view. After I studied his view, I was convinced. He said, but when I revisited the matter, I was convinced that that view was wrong. So that is why I now have another view that it counts. So some of us, when you ask a learned person a question, he gives you an answer. The following day you ask him another question, he gives you another answer. He says, hey, see now, he's contradicting himself. That is inconsistency. What will you say about Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal? About one issue, you can have 5 views. I have a book like that. The views of Al-Imam Ahmad regarding Masail. One matter, he can say today, yes, like this. Tomorrow he says yes. The other day, next day. Not just him, Imam Shafi'i too had that. Why? The way the views appear to them, that is how they speak. Yesterday they knew something, today they did not know it. Yesterday they knew something, today they did not know it. Like that. Yesterday they were aware of so-so thing regarding so-so matter. Tomorrow it appears to them in another way after research. Why? كلهم معترفون أن الإحاطة بالعلم كله من دون شذوذ شيء منه ليس مرتبة أحد منهم. All of them are all aware. They are all agree that I know everything. I don't have a mistake. It's not a level that any one of them has occupied. So they make mistake. يصيبون ويخطئون. They are right today. They are wrong. May Allah pardon all of us. So it's not strange. It's not a thing to blame Al-Albani for, or Ibn Uthaymin, or Ibn Baz. There is no one of them. إِلَّا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهُمْ وَيُرَدُّ. Who are those الَّذِينَ يَأْخُذُونَ مِنْهُمْ وَيُرْدُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ? Ulama like them, A'imma like them. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, وَأَمَّا بَيَانُ خَطَئِ مَنْ أَخْطَأَ مِنَ الْعُلَمَاءِ قَبْلَهُ. As for a scholar explaining and correcting the error of one scholar who had erred before him, or the scholars who had erred before him, إِذَا تَعَدَّبَ فِي الْخِطَابِ, as long as he was mannerly in his expressions, وَأَحْسَنَ فِي الرَّدِّ وَالْجَوَابِ, and then he was nice fi ar-raddi, in his refutation, wal jawab, and answering that he gave to that view of that scholar. He said, fala haraja alayhi, yani la dhanba alayhi, there is no blame on this person, there is no sin on him, wala lawma yutawajjahu ilayhi, and there is no blame, no reproach should be directed to that kind of a person. Why are you coming today? A whole Malik said something since 2,000 years. You come and say he was wrong. It can be like that. As long as the evidence shows that what he is saying is correct. La haraja alayhi wala lawma yutawajjahu ilayhi. There is no blaming him. There is no directing reproach to him. Wa in sadara minhu من الاقترار بمقالته فلا حرج عليه وإن صدر منه من الاقترار. In fact, sometimes the person refuting, correcting, يمكن أن يصدر منه اقترار. He can be puffed up while refuting. Like a young person, he wants to refute. He hears that Imam Al-Albani has a view, he finds something, maybe he's correct. Let's say maybe. He can say, that statement that Shaykh Al-Albani said is wrong. He's puffed up that he knows the truth to contradict the Imam. Even if that can be the situation, فَلَا حَرَجَ عَلَيْهِ, there is no need to blame that the scholar who does that. وَقَدْ كَانَ بَعْضُ السَّلَفِ. In fact, it has happened that some of the Salaf, إِذَا بَلَغَهُ قَوْلٌ يُنْكِرُهُ عَلَى قَائِلِهِ. You see now, there's inkar now. There's inkar now. When we first spoke about contradictions, we say there's no inkar, Abi. Now there's inkar. Because the masail al-khilafiyah, there are two types. Those khilaf, those masail that al-khilafu fiha sa'igun mu'tabarun. And those khilaf that, those issues that al-masailu fiha, yani al-khilafu fiha ghayru sa'ig, ghayru mu'tabar. In fact, those first groups where khilaf is mu'tabar, sa'ig, some scholars refer to them as masailul ijtihadiyah. When there's ijtihad, no nas from Quran, no nas sari from hadith, no qiyasun jalif, no ijma'. Okay, go and look for it inside ijtihad. So those are the matters that al-khilafu fiha sa'igun mu'tabar. But there are masail khilafu fiha ghayru sa'ig. Ghayru sa'ig. Why? There's nafs from Quran. Clear cuts regarding the matter. As-sariqu was-sariqatu faqta'u aydiyahum. The thief, male or female, cut their hands. Somebody say no. The thief, male or female, don't cut their legs. When we make rad of him, what will we do? We make inkar. Why? Yukhalifu al-kitaba was-sunnah. So there are masail. If there is clear, I'm already addressing that matter, Abi. If there is a clear-cut nas from Quran, clear-cut nas from hadith, like the issue of fasting 6 days after Ramadan in the month of Shawwal. Some amongst the Malikiyah have that view that that fasting is bid'ah. And that hadith of who? Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. If the Prophet ﷺ told us, Man sama Ramadan and summa atba'ahu sitting out sittan fi shawwalin kana kaza kaza. Kama qala alayhi salam. So this clear-cut hadith shows that if you fast Ramadan, you can add 6 days of Shawwal. So someone comes and say, no, I'm Maliki, I'm not going to take that of it. When we make raddu to him, we will also add what? Inkar. Why? ما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون لهم الخير. So we make inkar. We say this hadith is sahih, it's in Sahih Muslim. Why are you saying something else? Oh, someone says it is lawful to eat a dog. Hey, which Sharia is that? It's clear-cut hadith. There are verses of the Quran. Or a matter regarding which there is ijma'. That's why don't make ijtihad. Scholars say don't make ijtihad unless you understand ikhtilaf and ijma'. You know it. You know the masail that the scholars are agreed upon. Don't go and start saying you want to make ijtihad on a matter that the scholars are agreed upon. If you make that your so-called ijtihad, they will make inkar. They will give you something. They will flog you the cane of contradicting the ummah. Why? Allah flogged you too. What did he say? وَمَنْ يُشَاكِكِ الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So your mukhalafa of ijma is ittiba'u غَيْرِ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah says, نُوَلِّهِ مَنْ تَوَلَّى. So they will make inkar if you make mukhalafa of what? Ijma. So these are the kinds of masail that they will say al-khilafu fihi ghayru sa'ik, ghayru mu'tabar. This clear-cut nas, this ijma, this nas from hadith, nas from Quran, or a qiyas that is strong, jali, clear. Don't make mukhalafa. Don't make mukhalafa. But other issues where ulama have ijtihadat, because there are no nusus, clear-cut texts, then you can make khilaf. Or that there are texts in the Quran and the Hadith that can be understood in both ways. We will come back to that now. These are from the issues of ijtihad. Why? The text appears that it can be interpreted in both ways. Al-khilafu fi dhalika aidan sa'igun mu'tabar. Interpretation can come in both ways. In fact, there can be a verse regarding somebody, one verse like this, one verse like that. We will come back to it. Let's quickly move forward. The Imam said, rahimahullah, وَأَمَّا بَيَانُ خَطَئِ مَنْ أَخْطَأَ مِنَ الْعُلَمَاءِ قَبْلَهُ. As for explaining the errors of the scholars who came before you, إِذَا تَأَدَّبَ فِي الْخِطَابِ, if he was decent in his expression, وَأَحْسَنَ فِي الرَّدِّ وَالْجَوَابِ, and then he was nice in his refuting their errors and answering to the responses, answering to their errors, فَلَا حَرَجَ عَلَيْهِ, there is no blame on that learned person. وَلَا لَوْمَ يُتَوَجَّهُ إِلَيْهِ, no reproach should be directed to him. وَإِنْ صَدَرَ مِنْهُ مِنَ الْإِغْتِرَارِ بِمَقَالَتِهِ, even if while refuting the views there is some iqtirar, feeling important about the fact that he is the one that is correcting those learned people, even if that occurs in his refutation, we will not reject it. فَلَا حَرَجَ عَلَيْهِ, we will not blame him, as long as he was decent in his expressions, as long as he was nice in his presentation and in his refutation. وَقَدْ كَانَ بَعْضُ السَّلَفِ, some of the early Muslims rahimahumullah, إِذَا بَلَغَهُ قَوْلٌ يُنْكِرُهُ, if a statement that he rejects, apprehends a view, comes to him عَلَى قَائِلِهِ يُنْكِرُهُ عَلَى قَائِلِهِ, if he has a view that he rejects, he does not, what kind of a view is this? يَقُولُ كَذَبَ فُلَانٌ, this is strong inkar, the strong inkar. He will say كَذَبَ فُلَانٌ, so person has lied. But kadhib ukhwa ikhwa does not necessarily mean telling a lie. There are the Arabs who interpret kadhib to mean khata. So if they say kadhaba, what does it mean? Akhta, he has erred. So they always use, but for him to know the extent of his error, they now say what? Kadhaba fulan, so person has lied. وَمِنْ هَذَا قَوْلُ النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم, even the Prophet used that kind of an expression. كَذَبَ أَبُو السَّنَابِلِ, Abu Sanabil has lied. Abu Sanabil has erred. Abu Sanabil was one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. His name was Amr ibn Ba'kak. What is his name? Amr ibn Ba'kak. Ba'kak. That is the name of Abu Sanabi. What is his name? Amr ibn Ba'kak. Rahimahullah. What happened? Let me tell us the story of Abu Sanabi. Abu Sanabil wanted to marry a woman. Her name was Subay'atu bintu Al-Harith Al-Aslamiyya. What was her name? Subay'a. The tasgir of Sab, but this time it's a feminine. Subay'a, like you want to say Sab'a. Subay'atu bintu Al-Harith Al-Aslamiyya was pregnant during Hajjatul Wada. When they went for the Hajj, her husband died. Radiyallahu anhu. Her husband was one of the companions who fought in the battle of Badr. Kana Badariyan. What was his name? Sa'd ibn Khawla. The husband of Subay'a was who? Sa'd ibn Khawla. He was Al-Badr. He was from the scholars he was from amongst those who partook in the battle of Badr. Now this companion went with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sa'd ibn Khawla, he went with the Prophet for Hajjatul Wada alayhi salatu wasallam. Then he died there. Meanwhile, Subay'a was pregnant. Radiallahu anha. Just few days after he died, she gave birth to a child. Radiallahu anha. She thought that because Allah said in the Quran that وَأُولَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلُهُنَّ أَنْ يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ, the women, ulatul ahmal, women who are pregnant, their ajal, the time of their iddah is what? An yada'na hamlahunna. Once they give birth to, they deliver their pregnancies, literally, then they become halal. What does it mean that they become halal? Another man can marry her. So she thought that after those few days, she was qualified to marry another man. So she started to dress up. She started to, a woman who is looking for a husband. She started to. Meanwhile, Abu Sanabil was interested in marrying her. But he was waiting that it is, what did Allah say in Surah Al-Baqarah? وَالَّذِينَ يُتَوَفَّوْنَ مِنْكُمْ. What did he say? There is tarabbusu arba'ata ashhurin wa ashra in Al-Baqarah. A woman, al-mutawaffa anha zawjuha, that is the name. A woman whose husband passes away. There is tarabbusi kam arba'ata ashhurin wa ashra. They will wait for 4 months and 10 days. So which one does she fall into? Which verse will she use? She alone comes in the 2 categories. Her husband died. Is it either to mutawaffa anha zawjuha that she will use, which is 4 months wa ashra and 10 days, or the iddah of the woman who delivers a baby that Allah mentioned in At-Talaq as what? An yada'na hamlahun. Where does she fall into? So you see, this matter now is a matter of what? Ijtihad. At the beginning. At the beginning, like that, to be ijtihad. Her own view was, radiyallahu anha, I have just delivered my baby now. Allah says, An yada'na hamlahun. So I'm qualified to marry a man now. Abu Sanabil thought that, hey, your husband just died. For how long will you stay? 4 months and 10 days. So he was making inkar. So Abu Sanabil went to tell her, stop this thing that you are doing. You are not qualified to marry a man now, despite the fact that he was the one who wanted to marry her. Women started giving fatwa, hey. And he's the one that's interested in her. He is the one who actually married her after the Prophet explained the matter. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Abu Sanabil, he went to Subay'a. Mali araki tajammalti lil khitab. Why have I seen you dressing, waiting for people to give you khitbah? La'allaki tarjina nikah. You are expecting to marry ba? فَإِنَّكِ وَاللَّهِ مَا أَنْتِ بِنَاكِحٍ. Wallahi, you are not supposed to marry now. حَتَّى تَمُرَّ عَلَيْكِ أَرْبَعَةُ أَشْهُرٍ وَأَشْرًا. Until you make 4 months and 10 days, you can't marry. She said, رضي الله عنها, فَلَمَّا قَالَ لِذَلِكَ. When Abu Sanabil said that to me, جَمَعْتُ عَلَيَّ ثِيَابِي. I quickly carried my thawb. What is she talking about? Her jilbab. Radiyallahu anha. And then, Jama'atu alayya thiyabi hina amsaytu. In the evening, I quickly wa'ataytu Rasulallah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Fasa'altuhu an dhalik. So I asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, before I gave us this answer. You see that there are verses of the Quran about the matter. But it can be viewed from this side. It can actually be viewed from this side. And that was why Abu Hurairah radiallahu and Abdullah ibn Abbas, before this hadith came to them, they were given the fatwa that Akhirul Ajalain. Ali ibn Abi Talib, that was his view too. Akhirul Ajalain. You hear scholars talking about it. Mas'ala to Akhirul Ajalain. This is the mas'ala. When is Awwalul Ajalain? An yada'na hamlahun. What is Akhirul Ajalain? Arba'atu ashhurin wa ashra. So where does she fall to? So when Ibn Abbas was asked, he said Akhirul Ajalain, 4 months, 10 days. Abu Sanabil, what is his view? 4 months, 10 days. Abu Huraira, what is his view? 4 months, 10 days. This kind of a mas'ala, al-khilafu fihi sa'igun at the beginning. Because later it became a mas'ala mansusatun alayha. A mas'ala that has a nas. Because she said, Raziyallahu anha, fa'ataytu Rasulallahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Fasa'altuhu an dhalik. And I asked him about it. فَأَفْتَانِي بِأَنِّي قَدْ حَلَلْتُ حِينَ وَضَعْتُ حَمْلِي. أَفْتَانِي بِأَنِّي قَدْ حَلَلْتُ حِينَ وَضَعْتُ حَمْلِي. The Prophet gave me a fatwa. He gave me the verdict, alayhi salatu wassalam. بِأَنِّي قَدْ حَلَلْتُ حِينَ وَضَعْتُ حَمْلِي. He said to me that I am already halal from the time that I gave birth to my baby. وَأَمَرَنِي بِالتَّزَوُّجِ إِن بَدَى لِي. فَأَمَرَنِي بِالتَّزَوُّجِ. He asked me, go and marry. إِن بَدَى لِي. If you like, marry. You're already halal. It's already lawful for you to marry. This is the nas on the matter now. So someone asks you, a woman who was pregnant, the husband dies, and then she gives birth to a baby. What is the response to it? Now, there's a nas. And yadana hamlahunna. She will remarry. She's lawful to remarry when she delivers her baby. She does not have to wait for Akhirullah Ajalain. Is this thing clear to us? So some masail are like that. Al-khilafu fiha. This one, the khilaf is like this, but it has been resolved. I said the khilaf at the beginning was what? Sa'igun mu'tabar. After this statement from the Prophet, this hadith occurs in Bukhari and Muslim. After this statement from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is it? No ijtihad on it. This mas'ala mansusatun alayha. That was why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at that time, he responded to the view of Abu Sanabil. What did he say? Kadhaba Abu Sanabil. Yani akhta'a Abu Sanabil. Abu Sanabil was wrong. Let me stop here. Bismillah, will continue from here in the next class. One question. Just one question. We take just one question. It's Maghrib already. We take just one question. Now, try to make that question to be connected to the class, because it's just the one question we will take. One question connected to this dars. One. Alaykum salam. Connected to it. Now. Now, regarding a hadith, the matter is now mas'alatun hadithiyatun fiqhiyatun. The mas'ala is what? Hadithiyatun fiqhiyatun. It was a mas'ala fiqhiyah, but if it is about, is the hadith like Salatul Tasbih? It's mas'ala hadithiyah fiqhiyah. If the hadith is sahih, then you hold with it in fiqh. If the hadith is not sahih, fala kalam. In fiqh, you reject it. You can say what you like. So if a mas'ala is like that, you first of all come down amongst the scholars of hadith. Is that khilaf mu'tabar or ghayru mu'tabar? You see now again, you start your i'tibarul khilaf from the fan amongst the scholars of hadith. This error that this other group claim to say it is the reason why this hadith is da'if, like saying that Salatul Tasbih, the isnad has a kazzab. So the scholars of hadith will say, oh yeah, bring the kazzab, show us the kazzab here. If you can't show kazzab, then it is wrong for you to say it is mawdu. If there is no kazzab in isnad, type, leave the level of kadhib, come to the level of thiqat. Is there a da'if in the isnad? If you can't prove that there is da'if in the isnad, al-khilaf fihi ghayr sa'ik. But if there is a rawi that ikhtalafu fil hukmi alayh, they have a difference about the ruling on him, whether he's thiqah or da'if, the mas'ala goes back to arjahiyya. Which one is stronger? They have their murajjihat, things by which they know whether it is a stronger view to consider him da'if or it is a stronger view to consider him thiqah. You go there again. So when you come out, are you coming out with a hukum on him that that person over which there is khilaf, whether he's thiqah or da'if, he's thiqah? That's the strongest view. Then you take to it. You move forward. With that, you make the tahsin of that hadith. Before you now come out to speak in terms of the fiqh of Salatul Tasbih. If you can't do this one regarding that matter, keep quiet. You only have one more option. What is the option? The option of a muqallid. Look at the scholars of hadith. Those who have spoken about that hadith generally, they will be divided into 2 or 3 because of the example we gave. Those who say it is mawdu, those who say it is da'if, those who say it is sahih. So as a muqallid wa taqlidu jahl, as an ignorant person who doesn't know anything, this is the rule, what you will do. And taqlid is what? Jahl. Jahil position. The individual will now look at these 3 groups, those who say it is mawdu, those who say it is what? Da'if, and those who say it is what? Sahih. He looks at the 3 of them. Which ones are the most learned, gathered? Which view is the view of the most learned? That one too requires some knowledge. Go. You see now. So that's why Imam Shafi'i usually says, rahimahullah, there are masail in this religion. The best thing for some people is to keep quiet. Type Ishaq ibn Ibrāhīm ibn Rahwaya, for example, and Imam Muslim. Let me not use Muslim because regarding this matter they are on the same view. Salatul Tasbih. Ishaq and Muslim are on the same view. So who will I use? Okay, pick Suyuti. Suyuti himself, yuhassinul hadith. So who will I pick? Who says the hadith is da'if? But there are. So you look at the groups, 3 groups. Some people don't know more than Uthaymin and Al-Albani. Okay, let's use that one. Between Al-Imam Ibn Al-Uthaymin and Al-Imam Al-Albani, you want to determine a matter regarding whether a hadith is sahih or not. Who do you depend upon? Ibn Al-Uthaymin? Ibn Al-Uthaymin? Are you sure? You are sure? So you depend on him. Why? That field you are talking about, he is more learned in it. Even Ibn al-Uthaymin, Shaykh Abdul-Aziz ibn Abdullah ibn Baz, they will refer matters of hadith to Al-Imam al-Albani. So you too refer it back to them, to him. So when he has given you that view, you take to that view to know whether you can now act upon it or not. It is wrong when you say a hadith is sahih or not. They say this is the view of Al-Imam al-Albani. You say this is the view of Al-Imam Ibn al-Uthaymin. And then regarding the matter you want to act, you follow the view of Ibn al-Uthaymin regarding whether the hadith is sahih or not. When you are not able to look at their evidences and determine who is probably right or wrong, you must follow Al-Albani. That is the ruling for a muqallid jahil. وَإِنْ كَانَ فِيهِ عِلْمٌ, because he must have some knowledge of who is more knowledgeable. That one too is some knowledge. So you see that jahil has troubles in this religion. So you follow that one. So when you come out from that, after determining whether the hadith is sahih or not, then you can now begin to, if the hadith is da'if, no kalam. But if the hadith is sahih, then you start talking about the fiqhiyat in the hadith. Is this clear to us? Apply it to many of the masail. Fasting on Saturdays, apply to it. All the masail where we used to have differences, different. Usually they are masailun hadithiyatun fiqhiyah. And that's why some people say, Shaykh Al-Albani can be very stubborn on masail. Why? It is clear to him that the hadith is sahih. You know the meaning of that? Let me give you an analogy and I will stop there. You are working as an IT expert. Who is IT expert here? IT expert. You confirm, you connect internet and it is 5G. You try it, it's working 5G. On any 5G. Somebody now told you that he wants to log into his email. He can't log into his email. What has problem? His phone has a problem. His system, your system has a problem, not the connection. That is it. If Al-Imam Al-Albani looks at the isnadu, he, not him alone, all the scholars of hadith, at the end of it they say hadithun sahih. You know the meaning of that? There's a connection between them and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as if they are hearing him talking. What did Allah say to us? Ya ayyuhallazina amanu istajibu lillahi wa lirrasul idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. In Al-Farq he say wala tatawallaw anhu wa antum tasma'un. So it's like they are hearing the Prophet saying it after they confirm that the connection is sahih. Anybody who says anything after that, they will not answer him. They will say that it is his own fiqh that has what problem. Just like you will say it is his phone that has problem. After your connection and wahala, the indication is showing you 5G like this. Any other system that cannot see 5G, that should see 5G, it is that system that what? That has problem. Fiqh any problem when the isnad is sahih. So that is the reason why the Imam is like that. If wa in khalafahu dunya kulluha, even if the whole dunya is contradicting, he will not leave that position. Why? Sahha al-hadithu inda. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa